Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you, and this episode brought to you by Studeville. And we're joined today by head volleyball coach Jeannie Hinterreiter. And what can we say? Volleyball season is starting to wrap up, and you only got a few more weeks left as got an exciting conference championship coming up, and then we'll be in regional before we know it, and then your last home game.
Yeah. Our conference tournament is at Putnam City Original this year. So, again, always have to travel, and, of course, it's on homecoming weekend, so we won't stay the night. We'll be traveling back and forth. But our pool for conference is going to be a tough one because it's Choctaw, Enid, and Midwest City, which are basically the top 4 ranked teams are all in the same pool. So our pool play is going to be pretty tough on Friday.
Yeah, and I know something interesting. You got the conference affiliation, but a lot of the sports have gone to districts, and we've seen the addition to districts in basketball and the addition of districts in softball and things like that. But volleyball, it's still not the districts, it's the rankings type things. And I wanted to get your thoughts of what you think for that. Would you rather be in a district setting, or do you like the setting as it is with the rankings?
100% we want to go to districts.
Okay.
And that's a matter of all of the coaches in 6A getting with their ADs and the ADs approaching the OSSAA to change that. So people don't know, as a head coach, I have to rank the top 16 6A teams every week. And where we are geographically, I have to rank some of those teams that I haven't seen play all season. So I'm taking sometimes hours going through their records, who they're beating, who they're losing to, trying to do it correctly.
Right.
With the most integrity that I can, even though I haven't seen these teams play.
Right.
And so it's pretty subjective to what the coaches feel like.
Right.
As much as we try to do our best.
Yeah.
What it ends up
You're watching your team. You can't watch everybody else.
Yes. And, you have rival coaches ranking us, and you do trust them to do that objectively. And it's...
Well, there's a scratch your back type thing, too, that happens where, it's you know a coach and they think highly of you, so they're going to rank you 2 or 3 higher maybe than what you should be, which could be the difference in you winning a regional game or losing. I mean, that's the thing is we've seen it go to basketball. Do you think this is coming for volleyball?
Oh boy, I hope so. I think we're getting to the point where a lot of the coaches just know it's a necessity at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping a change within the next couple of years. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to this season now and talk about what's going on with your team. Tell us what your teteam goals were and where you're at as far as along on those team
Achieving
goals.
those? Well, one of them was to be undefeated at home. Knock on wood, we're 5-0 at home. We play Piedmont next Thursday. They're ranked 13th, so that'll be our highest ranked team to play at home. So it'll be a tough one, but I know that we can do it. So I think we can achieve that goal. We're 90% there. We want to make it past the first round of regionals, which is something that our program hasn't done in a while. And again, in order to set yourself up for success for that, it all depends on your ranking.
Right.
And so we're struggling to try to get that 3rd seed at regionals so we can play the 2nd seed instead of the 1st seed.
Well, I was going to say, every year that I've covered volleyball and going to your regional, it seems like we have called a regional that you are facing a lot of times one of the private schools, and it's one of the top teams in the state, the team that's going to make the state finals.
Yeah.
It seems like that's just the way it's worked out. And it's tough to win one regional game. And unlike, there's not forgiveness like in other sports where you have that opportunity to lose, come back through
Yes.
the
it's a
loser
one
side
and
of the
done.
bracket. It's a one and done on
situation.
regionals, so it makes it tough. And I understand volleyball lends itself to that with a match being several sets, but still, it's tough. And, one bad set, and all of a sudden you could, be sitting on the sidelines for the rest of the year. And you guys have just happened to play the best competition, it seems like, each year at your regional.
A perfect example of that is last year. We were 4th in our seed at region, but we were sent to Jinx because 17 through 32 just kind of get thrown wherever according to their geographic. So we're always sent towards the Tulsa side usually. And so we had to play number 1 seed Jinx first round of regionals, and they ended up being state champions.
Yeah.
So there's no redemption on the back half. It's not like tennis where you can have a consolation bracket and work your way up. It's a perfect example of that 4 seed being really tough.
And that's the other thing, 1 through 16, like you said, they get their rankings where they're going to be 1s and they're going to be 2s, but those other ones, you just kind of fit into wherever you are.
Yeah.
So, you could get it's not based. Number 32 isn't necessarily playing number 1,
right.
So it makes it a lot tougher.
It's a lot of gray area on that 17 to 32.
Yeah.
So, but we're right now sitting at around 22. So we're hoping we can get that 3rd seed at regionals to give ourselves a better chance of achieving that goal.
And you guys did a good job of maybe helping yourself get to that by a big win over your rivals, Enid.
It's always great to beat Enid. Always great to beat Enid. They always bring a really vibrant students. I mean, it's their players, really. Yeah. They're players that aren't playing are in their student section cheering and making sure the atmosphere for Enid is good. And so when they bring that into your own home, it can be intimidating. But our student section did a good job responding, and we came out strong the first set, and we have a tendency to let the pedal off a little bit on the second set, and we dropped that second one, but got back down to business the third and fourth set. Fourth set, we won 25-11. I mean, they had no shot. We were in control the whole time, so
yeah,
it was fun.
All right, and when we look at now going into postseason, we've talked a little bit about the stuff we wish was maybe a little different, all of that. But let's talk about some of your team and who are the big contributors. And, at this time of year, you start thinking about who stepped up and maybe has become a leader or emerged. And sometimes that's even the ones you didn't expect early on. So talk about your team overall and what we're seeing with them.
First off, Allison Edwards, our middle blocker, our go-to middle, just on the offensive end and also the defensive end of the ball. I've put her in a tough position this year where she's playing 6 positions. She's playing all the way around. And middle hitters, they're blocking all along the net. They're jumping every single ball. They're trying to get back in for that quicker offense every single time. And then I'm asking her to stay in the game and then play left back defense. And she has stepped up and has just done a great job. And her hitting average has consistently been in the 200 to 300 range, which is great for a middle hitter. I mean, statistically, when our middles, especially Allison, get the ball, we win games, like flat out. Yeah. And because our other middle is Izzy Strassel, and she's really stepped up. We lost our other middle, and she got pulled up and is embraced it and taken the challenge on, and she's doing a great job. So when our middles are successful, it makes our outsides really successful. It makes our pin hitters successful. Darcy Hinterreiter and Macy Strong have been lights out from the outside, and again, it's because our middles pull the block and they have holes and can move the ball around. And Natalie Meyer hanging in strong on our one right side hitter. She does a great job of setting that block also. And she's got this great cut shot that she can go down the line. So those 4 hitters have just really been doing a really good job for us. And of course, Kira Denoria, we're playing a 5-1, which means we only have one setter. She distributes the ball and keeps the offense going. So
yeah, when you have the 5-1, you have the pretty much one consistent setter.
Yeah.
That puts a lot on that setter.
A lot, yes, a lot. And you kind of can have a bad day, kind of a lot.
Right,
so, there is advantages and disadvantages to running that offense. Like you said, you have consistency. You have the same type of set, same hands on every single ball. But then you factor in fatigue. And then you also have a setter that's blocking, and it's really difficult for a setter to commit to their block, land, turn around and find the ball, and then set it and get their feet there and set it.
Well, and it's also, coaching is always based on the personnel that you have, right? And, you guys go up, especially when you start talking about 6A, and the teams that are highly ranked that you'll face, hopefully, if you win your first in regional. These are teams that have girls a lot of times that are 6'4", and can dunk the basketball if they were playing basketball. And
which in volleyball terms would be hitting over your block. Yeah. Doesn't matter how tall your block is, they'll hit over it.
And they can swing like nobody's business and put speed on the ball. And then what's always amazing to me with those players is they can attack so far away from the net too, which is, so I know that kind of has a tendency to maybe to change your game plan as well, because you may not have the size that maybe some of these other teams have.
We've done that defensively. With volleyball, you have perimeter defense, and then you have a rotational defense. And when our opponents are attacking from the outside, we're changing that to a rotational defense, which basically is making them take the toughest shot possible, which is down the line. Making a hitter jump up, turn, and hit down the line, and we're sticking a defender right there. And then anything over the block and cut to the left, we also have a defender right there. So we're trying to force our opponents to make the toughest shot possible to earn their points.
Sounds a little bit more complicated than when I'm at my with some friends playing volleyball out
perimeter,
there.
rotational.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we rotate, but just that kind of thing. All right, and anything else you want to get into before we let you go? I mean, I just know you're proud of what the team's been able to accomplish this year.
And what has been the best is just our team morale and hearing the players in a huddle be wise and supporting each other and having that balance of this is what we need to fix, this is what we need to do, this is what we're doing well. They're fighters, and it's just the morale and team energy and focus has been one accord this year, and it's been really great.
Yeah, so get out next week and the last home
Senior
match.
night, October 10th against Piedmont. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, so make sure you check that out, and then we'll see where they get set up in regionals, and we'll have that with just a radio call only through the radio station. So really looking forward to that with every year, and I'm hoping, like we talked about, we can see that first regional win in a long time.
Goal. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Well, Coach, really appreciate
Thank
time.
you.
Jeannie Hinterreiter, and that'll do it for the day's Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff saying so long, and this episode's been brought to you by Studeville. And until next time, go Cats.